theme that you wish to know more about, in case if something that we missed during the presentation, so we can discuss that. So आप सभी का स्वागत है हमारे वीकली वेबिनार में मार्केट मास्टर क्लास विद रेलिगेयर। और इस वेबिनार का पर्पस ये है कि हम नेक्स्ट वीक के लिए प्रिपेयर हों। तो पहले हम बात करते हैं मार्केट्स की इस वीक के परफॉर्मेंस की, जल्दी से हम देख लेते हैं कि कैसी परफॉर्मेंस रही, और फिर सारा टाइम हमारा फोकस रहता है नेक्स्ट 15-20 मिनट कि हम नेक्स्ट वीक क्या प्लान करें, किस तरीके से प्लान करें अपने ट्रेडिंग स्ट्रैटेजी को, सो दैट हम एज पे रहें। तो वो पार्ट रहेगा नेक्स्ट, फॉलोड बाय कौन से स्टॉक्स पे फोकस करें ड्यूरिंग द वीक, एंड लास्टली एक फीडबैक पोल, और उसके बाद फिर जो भी सवाल है आपका रिलेटेड टू मार्केट्स, स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चंस हम अवॉइड करते हैं, अदरवाइज इस सेशन कभी खत्म ही नहीं होगा। तो सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक बेसिकली, जैसे कि अगर आपने बैंकिंग में पोजीशन है तो आप बैंकिंग एज ए सेक्टर के बारे में अगर और जानना चाहते हैं, जो कि ड्यूरिंग द प्रेजेंटेशन शायद कुछ पॉइंट मिस हुआ, तो डेफिनेटली वी कैन डिस्कस ड्यूरिंग द Q&A सेशन। आप अपना सवाल पूछ सकते हैं, राइट। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद अ डिस्क्लेमर फर्स्ट, that the idea behind this webinar is to provide the meaningful insights, but it's not a trading or an investment recommendation. So before making any decision based on the information shared, please check with the financial advisor. तो देखिए, ये कोई भी ट्रेडिंग और इन्वेस्टमेंट रिकमेंडेशन नहीं है जो कि हम बात करने वाले हैं। ये हमारी ऑब्जर्वेशन है मार्केट्स पे, तो उसको आप कैसे यूटिलाइज करते हैं, आपका खुद का डिस्क्रिप्शन है या फिर अपने फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर से आप हेल्प ले सकते हैं। अब आते हैं मार्केट्स की परफॉर्मेंस की। सो दिस इज हाउ the markets performed during the week. As you can see, both Nifty and Sensex roughly around 0.5% kind of a cut. Sectoral front, mixed trend. Realty for the second consecutive week. If you remember last week, Realty was the top gainer, 10% kind of a gains. This week also 2.5%. Rest marginal in green, means metal, banking, financials. Losing side, auto, IT, FMCG, pharma, and media. They were among the losers, during the week, but not a significant cut. Means less than 2%. If you see, among the top gainers here, interestingly, again BEL topped the list. Last week also BEL was the top gainer. This week also 5%. Then followed by SDFC Life, Tata Steel, Bajaj Auto, and Jio Finance. On the losing side, Grasim, Maruti, M&M, Eternal, and Trent. So a couple of names from the auto basket which were among the top losers during the week. तो देखिए, लास्ट वीक एक तेजी का हफ्ता था। हम सबको अगर याद हो कि 4% के गेन थे निफ्टी और सेंसेक्स में, और टोन पॉजिटिव था, सब कुछ ठीक था। इस हफ्ता पूरा कंसोलिडेशन वाला रहा। मीन्स हमने दोनों साइड पे मूव देखे, वॉलेटाइल मूव्स देखे, और फाइनली जो हम बंद हुए तो करीब आधे % से ज्यादा के कट के साथ। सेक्टोरल फ्रंट पे वही दिख रहा है कि दोनों ही साइड पे टसल चल रही थी, तो आपको इंडाइसेस में भी वही दिख रहा है, स्टॉक्स में भी वही दिख रहा है। बट ओवरऑल एक ठीक ठाक क्लोजिंग कहेंगे, कंसिडरिंग कि जिस तरीके से वॉलेटिलिटी थी ड्यूरिंग द वीक और हमने फाइनली कैसे क्लोज किया। नाउ कम्स द मेन पॉइंट, हाउ वी आर पोजिशन्ड। सो दिस इज द डेली ग्राफ ऑफ निफ्टी इंडेक्स, right? So we were here last week, a strong bullish candle followed by a very small red candle on Friday. And what did we discuss? We discussed that there could be a possibility of further up move towards 25,200, and once we break, then 25,600 is something that the market might test, right? So it turned out to be otherwise. Means the next day was a muted session followed by a sharp decline below 24,800, 850 level. That turned the bias or the momentum down. I would not say the bias, but yes, the momentum down after we breached 24,800 mark decisively. In the following session, again a day of breather and then a decline. This day, Thursday, was critical for the market. Why? Can you see this yellow line, right? Last time also we have touched this mark and then we rebounded. This time also we have touched this mark and rebounded. This is the 20 days of exponential moving average, which indicates a short-term trend, right? So we respected this mark this week also, and today we've seen a decent rebound in the markets. Now what? After this, all this, choppiness. So until we break this yellow line, 24,500, continue with positive bias on the index, right? There could be phases of further consolidation or volatility, but the tone will remain positive until we break this mark. So 24,500, 24,500. This is something that you should keep in mind for the next week. As long as we are holding above this mark, everything is okay. Look for buying opportunity. If we slip below this mark, then 24,100 is something that the market might attempt. Means we can fill this gap. There's a gap over here, right? So this gap is something that the market might fill. So 24,500, you can write it down. You can just go back and see this video. We'll upload this, and it's also live on YouTube. So that is something that you should keep in mind. As of now, bias looks positive until we break this level, right? Once we break 25,200, the resistance remains the same, that on the higher side, 25,200. And once we cross that mark, then 25,600. Okay. Now comes the key sector. So again, those who can recall, we were discussing about banking could be the key trigger, for the next leg of the up move. But here, banking also failed to provide the needed support for fresh momentum. In fact, after this day of attempt of recovery, it fizzled out, tested its short-term average 20 EMA, and then rebounded. This, for the coming week also, we still believe that if there is any sector which can help the Nifty to surpass 25,200 decisively, it's still banking and financials, right? So the focus should remain on banking and financials for any strong directional view. Mind you, it's not that maintaining a positive tone means holding 24,500. It can be done through multiple ways. Means select heavyweights, they continue to hold the markets. But in case if we have to cross 25,200 decisively, then banking should perform, right? And there's very strong indication technically that this, could be the next trigger for the markets once we cross 56,000 mark. So banking also, again, this yellow line is the key. 54,600, earlier it was at 54,500, so that has shifted to 54,600. So until we break 54,600, you should maintain positive view on the banking also, right? In fact, banking is the key for next directional move in the coming week. So banking and financials put together, of course. It's not that the other sectors are weak. I'm not saying that. Means IT, energy, metal, FMCG, they all are contributing to the move. But when it comes to providing the needed push, to surpass or cross any particular resistance, that overall strength or the weightage, only banking and financial has. So banking and financial 54,600. So Nifty 24,500 and banking index 54,600. This is something that you should keep in your mind for the next week when you are trading index for the positive side, right? Downside, let's say if we break 54,600, then probably 53,900 means this area. This red line is something that the market might retest. So obviously, once we break the key supports, supports for Nifty and banking index, obviously you should turn cautious. You should book profits and hedge your existing position through index puts. That is the right way in case if you're holding heavy weights, and in case if it's small cap, definitely maintain strict stop losses. Now let's talk about stocks which one should be focusing on. So the first name that we have on the list is Federal Bank. So Federal Bank is a steady performer, as you can see on the graph itself, a steady uptrend. There were phases of marginal correction every now and then, but it maintains a steady profile. And like we are saying that banking can provide the needed trigger. Here means private banking major like Axis, HDFC, ICICI, they are no doubt are among the top performers. But here the low beta nature means it's less volatile. And once let's say we break this 207, 208 level, then probably we can see fresh upside momentum also in Federal Bank. So this is one stock which one can keep on radar on the long side. Next on the list, again from the BSFI space, insurance basket, HDFC Life. So for those who are active, in markets today was a day for most of these life insurance counters performing well. But for HDFC Life, it's a special day because we are seeing a multi-year breakout. Means after almost 4 years of consolidation, this week we have crossed the crucial hurdle and closed decisively above the same as well. So HDFC Life is also something that you should be focusing on alongside with the Federal Bank. देखिए जो हमने इंडेक्स की तो बात की 24,500 की और 56,400 की, दोनों में ही तेजी की हमने बात की इंडाइसेस में. वहीं पे स्टॉक्स में भी अगर आप बात करें तो बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल्स पे ही फोकस. फेडरल बैंक पहला नाम, जिनमें एक स्टडी अप ट्रेंड देखते हैं, वॉलेटाइल कम है, तो ये एक इजी काउंटर होता है ट्रेड करना इन कंपैरिजन टू अदर्स जहाँ पे वॉलेटिलिटी काफी ज्यादा होती है और पोजीशन मैनेज करना थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो जाता है. नो डाउट इसमें भी थोड़ा सा प्रॉफिट टेकिंग जरूर आता है, बट इतना शार्प कभी आपको कमी देखने को मिलता है. और यहाँ पे जब रिकवरी आती है वो भी एक ग्रेजुअली होती है. तो यहाँ पे अभी के मार्केट सिनेरियो के हिसाब से जब हम देख रहे हैं कि बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल्स में अच्छा मूव आना चाहिए, तो एक पॉसिबिलिटी दिख रही है कि एक अच्छा मूव, एक स्टडी मूव यहाँ से देखने को मिल सकता है, जो कि स्टॉक को अपने नए हाइस तक ले जाए. साथ ही साथ हमने लाइफ इंश्योरेंस स्पेस में से एचडीएफसी लाइफ की भी बात की, जो कि पिछले 4 सालों से देख रहे हैं आप किस तरीके के मूव्स झेले हैं इसने. मीन्स 740 से 460, फिर 760, और बीच में ये 540, 620. तो अब फाइनली ये ब्रेक कर पाया है अपने मल्टी ईयर हाइस को. तो ये लीड कर रहा है विद इन दी लाइफ इंश्योरेंस बास्केट. नो डाउट दूसरे स्टॉक्स भी अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं लाइक एसबीआई लाइफ, आईसीआईसीआई प्रू, बट यहाँ पे आउट परफॉर्मेंस के चांसेस ज्यादा है, राइट. सो ये दोनों नाम. Lastly on the list, NMDC from the metal space. So when it comes to the sector, banking, financials, obviously they top the list. Then we have metal and realty also, wherein we find decent amount of buying interest. So here NMDC, as you can see, again it's self-explanatory. It was a gradual corrective phase. Finally, we could manage to break this trend line in today's session. Volumes were strong. There was a marginal buying pivot also formation before the breakout. So everything looks conducive, means to maintain this positive tone and extend this recovery. There is a strong possibility that this could continue in NMDC, seeing the overall buoyancy in the sector also and stock specific breakout. तो देखिए बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल्स जिसकी हम बात बार बार कर ही रहे हैं, मेटल स्पेस में भी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज दिख रही हैं। जैसे टाटा स्टील ने अच्छा पहले ही किया है, जिंदल स्टील, जेएसडब्ल्यू स्टील अपने काफी अच्छा परफॉर्म कर चुके हैं, थोड़ा बहुत प्रॉफिट टेकिंग दिख रहे हैं। एनएमडीसी में एक काफी लंबे फेज के डिक्लाइन के बाद ये एक रिवर्सल रिकवरी दिख रही है। तो रिवर्सल से पहले एक पॉज और उसके बाद ये फिर रिकवरी का फेज। तो यहाँ पे स्ट्रेंथ दिख रही है कि ये रिकवरी फर्दर स्ट्रेंथन हो सकती है आने वाले दिनों में, राइट। सो नेट नेट पॉजिटिव बायस 24,500, 54,600 और निफ्टी एंड बैंकिंग रिस्पेक्टिवली। जब तक ये होल्ड है तब तक आपको पॉजिटिव रहना है। स्टॉक स्पेसिफिक वी टॉक्ड अबाउट Federal Bank, we talked about HDFC Life and NMDC, where one can look for long trades, right? So this is all from the presentation part. Now let's do a quick feedback and then we can start with the Q&A. So please fill in your feedback and then we can go ahead with the Q&A session. There's a button in front of your screen, Q&A button in front of your screen. You can use that. Post your question, anything specific to any particular sector, theme, which we have missed out. Obviously, we didn't discuss about multiple themes like defense, railways, which were under focus, and they are still doing, okay. So we can discuss about that in case if there anything else, obviously we can touch upon. So first fill in your feedback and then you can post your questions. कोई भी सवाल है आप लिखकर पूछ सकते हैं। जो Q&A बटन है आपकी स्क्रीन पे, उसको आप प्रेस करेंगे तो एक विंडो खुल के आएगा, वहां पे अपना सवाल लिखकर पूछ सकते हैं। So please fill in your feedback and then we can start with the Q&A. Those who are done with the feedback, they can start posting their questions. All right, so we are almost done. So let's start now. So Jitendra has question on auto sector. So auto sector, Jitendra, I feel it could be a mixed bag. Citing the recent texture means if you see that some of these stocks, like M&M, Escorts, TVS, Ashok Leyland, they have done well. But at the same time, Bajaj Auto, Hero MotoCo, they also parted. Tata Motors slightly in the back foot. It's not new for Tata Motors though. So overall, I believe that there could be stock specific opportunity, but as a sector means possibility ये है कि आपको broad based buying देखने को ना मिले, right? So here stay stock specific, जो stock relatively ज़्यादा स्ट्रेंथ दिखा रहे हैं, उसके लिए सबसे सिंपल तरीका है कि जो आपके रिकॉर्ड हाइस के पास हैं, जो ज्यादा दूर नहीं है अपने, उन स्टॉक्स को आपको फोकस करना चाहिए विद इन दी ऑटो स्पेस. Okay, next is Neeru Kodaji's question on which is sector is best for short term. So obviously it's very difficult to say because obviously we are just analyzing the available information basis that we are presenting. But like what we've shared during the presentation itself, that if Nifty has to move and cross 25,200 mark, then banking and financial should lead. So obviously, the first preference should be the leaders, that is banking and financials for short term. Thank you, Ajayji, for your feedback. And now, view on IT and defense. So, IT first means IT looks okay, it's stable, but global clues are largely dictating the trend. Every now and then we hear something or the other in the US markets. And there also we have a tech heavy index that is Nasdaq Composite. And basis that, and plus obviously the news on the US economy as a whole, that also influence the IT sector. So for a time being now, I feel that it could be remain in a range means selective stocks may do well, means stock like Infosys, TCS, after this recent dip, they look stable. HCL Tech, means large cap names, and select from the mid cap basket also, but they are volatile. There's no doubt about that, that mid cap ID is volatile. So it's going to be not very decisive trend is something that I'm anticipating in IT. So if the view is short term, definitely you should be cautious if you have any existing position, and avoid if you're planning any fresh trade until we see further clarity. Now, defense as a space, like what we were discussing last week also, that selects of stocks from the defense basket, railways basket, they might continue to outshine. And BEL is one candidate which is maintaining its positive tone without any major consolidation. Other stocks like GRSC, Majgaon Dock, BDL, they are also trading strong on the similar lines. But same thing which I shared last week, that when you are chasing momentum, you should have a clear exit plan also in place. So, for example, in fact, I received multiple queries during the day that we have bought, let's say Cochin Shipyard at 2200 levels. Now it is 1800. What to do? So it's not that something has changed for the stock. It's just that you have bought the stock at certain price. You were not uh, sure about the exits. Means in case if the stock falls, then where I'll be exiting. That leads to this challenge. And especially if the sector or theme is witnessing strong moves, up moves, then it becomes very obvious that we get carried away and we try to get into the rally and catch the bus. So that is something that I would recommend to avoid in defense or other sectors also. In case if you can disciplinedly maintain stop losses, then you can definitely chase momentum, or you can reduce your quantity if you wish to, or follow the recommendations if you are associated with us, because we are very selectively choosing from themes or stocks, sectors, basis the momentum, right? Okay, next question from Manoj on infra space. Obviously, there's a query on stock specific, so I would rather answer through from the sectoral point of view. So, infra is a basket. We are seeing mixed trends. So it's not that. Last week also we had a similar kind of a query. So metal infra is a big basket which includes several other subsectors. So metal definitely looks positive. Then players who create infra like NCC, IRB, indications are in the favor that we may see some pause. But yes, let's say if the view is 2-3 months, then probably we can see further recovery or a rebound. So the tone looks positive, but near term they might consolidate. So one should act accordingly. Okay, next we have question on metals. Question from Vipin. So metals, majority of the stock are participating in the move. If you exclude a couple of names, from the list. So I believe that metal, alongside with banking, financials, realty, energy, means if I have to specify sectors to focus on, then banking, financials, metal, energy, and realty. These are the 5 sectors that we should be focusing on next week for long trades. So hope it answers your query. Next we have Piyush again stock specific queries, but again we'll answer in a similar manner. So pharma, Piyush, I feel that there's a possibility that the choppiness might continue in the near future, right? So within the space, I can recall only Divi's Lab, wherein I'm seeing consistency in the trend. Means post the multi-month breakout, the stock is trading at the record high, gradually inching higher. Rest of the space is very volatile, right? So one should refrain from aggressive bets in pharma. Then from the other financial side, in the NBFC space, PSUs, uh, Woodco, I guess we have discussed couple of weeks ago also, or maybe shared last week also. So there, to definitely we have positive view. Then stocks like REC, PFC, they are sitting on the sidelines, and still there is no sign of decisive up move. So again, in that space, prefer those are in sync or outperforming the index. Okay. So Apnil ji, we have already discussed about defense sector. So in case uh, you missed the segment, you can just check the video on YouTube on Religare online channel. So yeah, कपिल जी हैज की ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग की भी क्लास बिल्कुल होती है और अच्छा क्लाइंट्स के लिए बेसिकली आई सजेस्ट कि क्लाइंट्स के लिए भी हो और अभी इंटरनली टीम मेंबर्स के लिए इफ यू आर एसोसिएटेड विद अस डेफिनेटली आई सजेस्ट कि क्लाइंट्स के लिए भी जो कि आए समझे मार्केट को ऑप्शन स्ट्रेटजीज को उसके लिए डेफिनेटली कपिल जी मैं शेयर करता हूँ ये Rajagopala ji, we have already answered about PFC REC, so hope it answers your query. Okay. See, defense stocks, we have already discussed. So, stock like HAL, Majgaon Dock, Cochin Shipyard, they all are trading okay, but you need to have stop losses in place. So, just for example, let's say if you have HAL, so here 4700 is the immediate base, the strong base that we have the stock. In case if you have bought at 5200, are you okay holding it till 4700? That's the question. So especially when we are chasing momentum, that's the reason why I always say that you should have a stop loss in mind before you enter into a trade. So here, if I have any existing position, I would maintain a stop at 4850 in case for the short term trade, and then around 52, 5, 5300 levels, I would look to book profits. Okay, next from the mid cap IT space. So again, mid cap IT, like what we've shared during the presentation itself, that select name like Coforge, Persistent, they are well. Then we have stock like Birla Soft, which is underperforming within the sector. So in case if you see any recovery, let's say, towards 460, 470 levels, then look for opportunity to switch to the large cap names or quality mid caps like Coforge or Persistent. Okay. Yes, so yes, Ajay, this is the scenario. Means it's not that the global. Basically, the question is that looking at the global scenario, will it be safe to focus on the domestic sector like banking, insurance, FMCG, reality? So that is what we shared. Uh, See, it's not that global scenario is weak. It's just that it's very volatile. Rather means 1 week we expect just if I have to quote this. Last week we were talking about US-China trade deal, and everything looks positive that the global economy would do well and everything's going to be great. But this week, after this, Modi downgrading US, their lack of appetite for the US bonds, the bond yield going higher, indicating a possibility of uh, less rate cuts or maybe tighter policies by the US Fed. So it's very volatile, to bet upon. So the focus should definitely be on sectors which are performing domestically well, and plus we have monsoon trigger also. So we'll keep on, getting the updates on the progress of monsoon. So yes, like the sectors, themes that we have discussed should be in the focus. Okay, so there's a update that Mr. Manoj have shared that RBI may give 3 lakh crores dividend to the government. So which sector will benefit? So infra, basically, uh, you know, uh, the spend which government makes in basically to build infra, defense, and other sectors. So that we have all, but infra is the major beneficiary. Because without losing the fiscal discipline, using the funds uh, received, government can plan and expedite their infra spend. So this is something that could be on markets radar in the coming week. Okay, so Hema Chalarogo Gangu. Okay, yeah, question on BEL. So again, defense. I would repeat myself that it is okay if you are chasing momentum, but understand that in the last 2 weeks, BEL is up 15%. Last week it was 10, this week 5. It can see a pause profit taking decline. So important thing is if you are buying BEL without having any stop loss in mind, it might disappoint you. So focus on your exits also. Focus on your marginal losses and keep your profit potential intact. So it's not that you cannot chase BEL, but if you are okay, it seems slightly stretched to me, means after 15% kind of a move. Can it go up? Yes, it can. But should I chase? I would rather prefer not to chase any stock which has moved up, very swiftly until we see some pause or consolidation, which gives me a better entry level in the stock. Okay, last we have again a stock specific query on Ola. So maybe it could be a query for others also. So again, underperforming stock, there's no sign of reversal or recovery. So I would rather suggest, in case if you see any recovery towards 60, 65 zone in good times, you should definitely try to, exit your position. Or in case, let's say, if we slip below 45, then also. There's no point, staying in an underperforming stock when the market is gradually inching higher with every passing day. Okay, so with this, we have answered all the queries. Next week is going to be the week of monthly expiry, means on Thursday, and then on Friday we have a rollover session or a derivative session, which talks about how the derivative rollover happened and the other related things. For our weekly video, we post that on our Instagram, YouTube, and other social channels. So obviously, इट्स गोइंग टू बी इन हिंदी. तो हिंदी में होगा हमारा जो वीडियो होगा नेक्स्ट वीक के लिए, तो वो आपके पास अवेलेबल होगा. सेम मार्केट इन्फॉर्मेशन जो कि अभी हमने बात की है वो आप वहां से एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. तो थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग इन आज के सेशन के लिए, और फिर जल्दी में